Hello, my friends. Oh, we've got sound. That's lovely, wonderful. And we need to back up on our slides, just a couple. But it is great to be with you today and to talk about my favorite subject and juicing for joy, energy, and high level wellness. Who would like that? Who juices? Oh, look at all of you. That is wonderful. Okay, for those of you that do, I hope to inspire you to do more. For those of you that don't, I hope to engage you. So you want to juice. You are today building your body of tomorrow. You know that, right? What you put in your mouth today, what you put in your mind today builds the you of tomorrow. And that's what I want to inspire you to do more, to build that energetic, joyful, excited, happy, vital person tomorrow. So you have control. You have control over your body, over what you eat, over what you think, over what you do. I talk about thinking and emotions because my husband and I work together and we make a whole person, we say. He does the psychotherapy and the spiritual. He's also a priest, and I do the nutrition. So together we make a whole brain and a whole person. You can feel more joyful when you are in control of your life. And so today is about getting ready to go, to reset. Do you want more joy? Do you want more energy? How about better health? How about a higher purpose? I have a story to tell you. Once upon a time, there was a girl, and she was very, very sick. And that girl was me. I had chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia, and I was so sick I couldn't work. I had to move back home and sleep. When you have chronic fatigue syndrome, all you want to do is sleep, and you ache all over and you feel miserable. And I had swollen glands and a low-grade fever, and I ran from doctor to doctor, and what could they do? And there was nothing that they could do for me. And they said, it's all in your head. And I knew it wasn't. I quit a job that was fun. I was working for Pat Boone in Hollywood. And when you're 20 something and all the things going on, it was exciting. So I knew it wasn't in my head. And they said, nothing we can do for you. So I decided I've got to take control over this myself and find out what can I do to make a change. And I discovered that my diet was all wrong. I went to some health food stores and talked to some people there. I love fast food, junk food. I hated vegetables, and I was a sugaraholic. No wonder I was sick, right? And so I decided when I heard about juicing, I was going to get a juicer, and I went on a 5-day juice fast. And on day 5, and it was vegetable juices. And on day 5, my body expelled a tumor this size, the size of a golf ball with blue blood vessels attached that looked like somebody cut them, and somebody had. I call it God scissors or nature scissors. Luteolin, physitin, apigenin, those are phytonutrients that cut off angiogenesis, the growth to blood vessels to tumors that cause them to grow. So I was drinking those scissors. I thought, wow, look at that. That was pretty exciting. I got rid of this tumor. My mother died, you just heard, on the introduction of breast cancer when I was 6 years old. And I thought, oh my goodness, I was following in her footsteps for sure. So tomorrow I'm going to be well, right? Tomorrow I wasn't well. I woke up feeling not too much different. I was on a journey. And I always say this to everyone that I counsel and everyone I talk with. It's a journey. It's not an overnight some of you are nodding. It is a journey, and you know that. It's not take 2 pills and you're better in the morning, right? No, it's that you're going to do these things to get well, and your body is going to move in that right direction, little by little by little, until one day you are well. So I kept juicing. I added in whole foods. I ate a plant-based diet for 3 months. One morning I woke up and thought, wow, somebody gave me a new body in the middle of the night. I felt fabulous. Well, it wasn't just that overnight. I had been building, detoxifying, rejuvenating. And one day it all came together and I felt like a new person. So I went back to school, got my master's in whole foods nutrition so I could be a credible source and teach you that there is a better way, and you too can be well, and you too can be whole. So the life is in the plants, right? Life is in the plants. That's why we want to juice. We want that vitality, that energy, that healing, that super nutrition, and we can get that by juicing. So the basics of juicing, I just want to do a little whirlwind on what to juice and why. Fresh juices are your ally in your pursuit of health. Juice fasting is fabulous because when you juice fast, you give your body a rest. It can like take a staycation, if you stayed home and you had a week to clean out that garage, that drawer, that closet. Your body's doing that. It's cleaning things out. It's cleaning things up, restoring. Do you know it has that when it's not focused on digestion, it has the time, the energy, so to speak, to go after dead cells, cancer cells, damaged cells, rejuvenating or cleaning up. And so that's when people notice, wow, what a difference after a juice fast. I have a Zoom 5-day juice fast coming up in July. You can sign up for that. You can come to my book signing table right out the door when this is over. But we're going to join together to juice fast, anybody that's interested. And juices are so great because here's why. They are broken down into highly digestible forms of nutrition. That means that your body can just absorb this. It can take it right in. It's no interference with the insoluble fiber. And that's the objection, right? Everybody says, oh, you don't want to juice. There's no fiber in there. That isn't true. There's soluble fiber, but the insoluble is ejected. Yes. And that's why it's so good because your body can just take that right in. It gets right down to the cellular level. There's no interference. It's vitamins, minerals, enzymes, phytonutrients, biophotons, antioxidants, all in a glass. How cool is that? So I've done so many shows all across almost the world. And the question I always get is fiber. And well, there's no fiber in that juice and we shouldn't juice. I started saying there's no fiber in wine. They always stop and pause on that one. So you know what? Juice is a supplement to your diet for most days, unless you're juice fasting. And then it's your diet. Then it's your nutrition for the day or the week or whatever you're doing. But we want lots of juice to get an abundance of nutrients into our diet. And there is a synergistic effect. And I found a study on that. Synergism. Go figure. You combine a variety of beautiful vegetables and maybe a little fruit in there. And you have synergism. You have the combining of different nutrients working together to make things happen. That if you just had one by itself, you wouldn't get as much going on, right? You wouldn't get as many nutrients working together to bring healing in your body. So we don't eat enough veggies. All of us know that too, right? We need more veggies in our diet. Here's a way to get more. And live food is life. And we don't get enough live food. So I want to show you some Kirlian photography for a moment. That the light, which is life, which is biophotons, is in the plants. Look at this. This is Kirlian photography of flowers. How beautiful is that? The beautiful colors that they catch with this special photography. It's the light that has come from the sun, which comes from God. And when we eat live plants, we are ingesting that beautiful light and life is coming into our body. So here's some fruit that now when you cook it, you lose that light, those biophotons. But here's a raw apple, star fruit. Look at the beautiful colors, the beautiful light emanating from those pieces of raw fruit. Snacking on sunshine, I call it. Wouldn't you like to do that? You can do that today. Kirlian photography shows us a carrot, an onion, and a mushroom, all raw, with that gorgeous energy, that gorgeous light, those biophotons that come from the sun that the plant absorbs, converts it so it's in a usable form for you, so it can go right into your body. And here's a cooked tomato now. I want you to take a look. The cooked tomato doesn't have much light left. Where the raw tomato, look at how powerful and beautiful that is. The cooked broccoli versus the raw broccoli. And I'm not for raw meat, but there's an example of raw in meat. Beautiful light coming from it, raw. Cooked, not so much. We've lost quite a bit. So what does that light and what do those biophotons do for you? At the core of your cell is the mitochondria, the little energy production units of your cell that produce ATP, your energy fuel. Biophotons feed that. So do you know what people say to me so often when they first start juicing? Wow, I notice I have a lot more energy. Yeah, because you're getting raw and live food into your body. And then so many people say too, joint pain is going away or just pain throughout their body. Brain fog went away. Lots of amazing, wonderful things happen when you start juicing. God's healing rays. We're taking right into our body. So I so believe in prayer. I have another story to tell you in just a little bit. I so believe in what God does. I so believe in healing. But I want to encourage you. We have to do our part, right? We need to do our part. We can't go to McDonald's or Taco Bell or I don't know where you, probably none of you go there. But we can't eat a bunch of French fries or packaged goods and expect life. We have to eat live food. We have to cooperate with God's healing energy, healing rays. So here she is. She's a happy cell, little play on words, cell on cell. She's had her glass of juice, right? And she is a happy cell. We want happy cells. We want right down to the cellular level to feed our cells. We want them happy and energized, and then we are. So I talked about joy. My husband said to me the other day, how are you going to talk about joy? I mean, what are you going to do to bring joy in their life? I said, you know, when you think about when you feel really good, don't you just feel like smiling? Don't you just feel joyful? I do. So that is how, there's many other ways. My husband, being a priest and a psychotherapist, will tell you a lot of other ways to bring joy in your life. But here's where it starts. If you don't feel well, you sure don't feel like smiling, right? You don't feel very joyful. So let's start at the basics and get our nutrition going so that our cells are happy. And then we can work on so many other things as well. So raw foods and enzymes, when we cook our food, we destroy our enzymes. And so we're getting more enzymes into our body when we're drinking our live, fresh, raw juices. Do you know leukocytosis is something that happens when we eat a lot of cooked food? But do you know if you eat some raw food with your cooked food, you don't get that? Pretty cool. So try and include something raw. You know, even if you have a main course cooked meal, have a salad. Have a glass of juice before your meal or with your meal, or a raw, energizing soup, my energy soup recipe, for example. So we need a break. No, I can't tell you the meaning of life. I only came up here to avoid carbs. So I want to talk now about some specific vegetables and what they do. Way back, 1950s, Dr. Kirshner treated 200 TB patients in Los Angeles with carrot juice. And he added a green juice mix, and they made even more rapid recovery. He also observed in this study that heart disease, prostate gland disease, cancer, neuritis, hemorrhoids could be treated with raw vegetable juices. Wow, would that we had more studies today like that. I think they began and ended in the 50s, but how cool is that? Green juice, it was like a miracle cure. He added 1 glass of green drink made with alfalfa sprouts, spinach, and parsley to patients' menus each day, and they began recovering very quickly. How cool is that? If there was a hospital, can you imagine on your menu, choose the juice you want? You get out of surgery and they give you a lovely fresh glass of juice with a straw. Talking about utopia, right? We would all sign up for that hospital. And while you're there on your recovery, you get fresh salads and juices and smoothies. We would change America. Things would really change quickly. Maybe one day. Whoop, I just breezed right on through that. There we go. Back to the power of celery juice. You know, when celery juice was making its big debut on the market, everybody was talking about celery juice, and they were going to juice bars and getting celery juice. And people were asking me, what about that, kind of crazy fad going on? Is there anything to it? And I went searching, because in Nutrition 101, I was taught, as maybe many of us were taught, there isn't much in celery. It's just mostly water and sodium. And it's a great thing on the hors d'oeuvre tray to scoop up that dip, but there's not much else. Boy, was that wrong. I found all these studies. So I'm going to show you 2 slides. Numbers after each point is that reference to a study. So they found that celery and celery juice stimulates neurogenesis, fights cancer. The leaves of celery, never throw away your leaves. They're the richest in apigenin and luteolin, which cut off angiogenesis, that growth of the blood vessels to your tumors. Always juice the leaves along with the rib. And celery prevents cardiovascular disease. How cool is that, huh? Since we're talking about more and more these days about fats and cardiovascular disease. Celery reduces glucose, blood lipids, and blood pressure. These are all studies that were all reviewed in the Journal of Evidence-Based Integrative Medicine. It also showed it can strengthen the heart. It's an anti-inflammatory and an antifungal. Drink your celery juice. Do you have to drink it plain? No, but it is true, I believe. Lots of people are saying, and I can't point to a study, but I believe that it is most effective when you drink it plain. Some people say I can't stand it. I won't do it. So add something. Add a squeeze of lemon or a lime or whatever, or some apple, green apple, maybe. This was our second schnauzer. She hated celery. Tell me. Celery. Radishes. I was so amazed when I began to do my research for my juice and cancer Zoom class. I wanted to see how many vegetables fought cancer. I was shocked to find radishes are a powerful tool in your cancer fighting journey. And do you know what? The leaves have even more nutrients than the radish itself, the little bulb. Wow, I'd always thrown away those leaves. Now I juice it. I juice the whole thing. Juice it all. It is so amazing what radishes do. I'm not going to go over all of that, but they reduce the risk of breast cancer in postmenopausal women. There was a study on that. It has sulforaphane, just like the cruciferous vegetables. It helps them manage blood sugar. So anybody with diabetes or pre-diabetes, it would be excellent. It's great for heart health. And on it goes, the humble little radish. Spinach for learning. This is pretty cool. Flavonoids reduce plaque buildup in Alzheimer's disease. Juice spinach. We all want our brains, right? I used to do the Juice Man seminars way back when, remember the guy with the big bushy white eyebrows, and the Juice Man came on, and I became their juice lady, and that name stuck ever since. But when we would go out to do the seminars, I would poll my audience, and we would typically have 1,000 people a night. And I had 5 different questions. And, number one each time, nobody wants to lose their mind. We all want a clear mind, even if everything else is gone. It was more important than anti-aging or looking better or losing weight or a whole bunch of other things. So we want to do everything we can to prevent Alzheimer's or dementia. I'm going to talk about this in a moment, but I'm co-author with Leanna Werner Gray. She spoke yesterday. Many of you heard her on our new book, The Truth About Seed Oils. Seed oils also are linked to Alzheimer's and dementia. So we want to get the seed oils out, the spinach juice in, all the beautiful vegetable juices that you can find and try and juice. One study published in Experimental Neurology showed less brain damage from restricted blood supply and increased motor function following a stroke. Spinach juice. These humble little vegetables. And also they increase learning capacity. Watercress juice, rich in iodine, great for the thyroid, helps prevent thyroid issues, and helps an underactive thyroid. Wheatgrass juice. We don't see wheatgrass as much. It was a big craze for a while, and everybody had flats of wheatgrass in health food stores. We don't see it as much now, but it is fabulous for so many things. Great for the thyroid, boosts metabolism, but you could almost say wheatgrass juice for anything. I have a newsletter coming out Friday on wheatgrass juice for belly fat. So wheatgrass juice for everything, I would say. It's helped so many things. Cilantro. They call cilantro the poor man's heavy metal detoxer. It has been known, this is not a study, but in traditional thought, that it detoxes mercury and aluminum. So include cilantro in your juices. You can make an icy, spicy gazpacho by juicing up carrot and lemon, adding it to a blender, freeze some chunks of tomato, put in your cilantro, like a big handful, blend it up, add a pinch of cayenne, and that is your icy, spicy gazpacho. Beet juice for cleansing the liver. Oh my goodness, is it powerful? You can do a beet juice challenge, and this will be part of my detox class. So 1 ounce of beet juice each day for 1 week, 2 ounces each day for week 2, 3 ounces a day each day for week 3, 4 ounces per day, week 4. That's your beet juice liver cleanse challenge. So a month, simple, just go through the month with beet juice and increase it. Why should we detox? Because it's a toxic world we live in, and toxins get stored throughout our body, especially in the liver. What if you never change the oil filter in your car? The liver is like that. What if you never cleanse your liver? We're going to break down. If we never change the oil or the filter in our car, it will break down. What about our bodies? They break down. So we want to cleanse our livers, and we want to detox. So I have a 30-day detox Zoom class coming up. Also, will start in July, the summer detox. Come see me at my book table if you're interested in that one. But believe me, when you cleanse your body, starting with all the different organs of elimination, like colon cleanse week 1, liver cleanse week 2, and kidney and bladder and lung week 3, lymphatic system and skin and blood week 4, boy, do you notice a difference in how you feel. I encourage you to check it out. Join me. Here's the 80-20 rule for juicing. 80% vegetables, 20% fruit, because we can get way too much fruit juice, and that's the other challenge. And I get challenged about that a lot when I do shows, and criticism. Well, juice has way too much sugar. And I say, yes, it does. If you drink a glass of fruit juice, it does have too much sugar. So a little bit of fruit, lots of vegetables, then you're good to go. Your lowest sugar fruit, berries, and green apple. And if you need to keep your sugars low, like prediabetes, diabetes, or you have cancer, or you have candidiasis, then keep your your sugars very low. Maybe it's 90-10 rule for you that you need to follow. But whatever it is, get those live juices. If you just go straight vegetables, perfect. Whatever you need to do, choose organic. And why? We want to avoid the pesticides. There's in everything just about. So We want to get organic whenever it's possible. And you can go to ewg.org and get the download for the app for your phone. Every year in about May, they change up the list because they study the fruits and vegetables, and they'll give you the dirty dozen, the worst offenders, and it's about the same every year. They just change positions. And then the clean 15, the least sprayed of them all. And there's our new book, and I'll have some at my book table, The Truth About Seed Oils. Tons of information and lots of recipes and lots of charts, like smoke point, which are the good oils, which are the ones to avoid. And I just want to give you a little snippet of what's there. Oils that heal your organs, coconut oil for the liver, olive oil for the kidneys, black seed oil for your lungs. It really does work, and it gives you energy as well. And flaxseed oil for your brain, for your skin, for your heart. These are your cold oils that you never heat, and they are your healing oils. So now I want to tell you the rest of my story and hopefully encourage you that no matter what you face, no matter what is going on in your life, there is hope. There is so much hope. So I'm back to, this was about a year after I got well from my chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia that were mine no more. So I shouldn't even say mine. I was house sitting for some friends that had gone to Europe, and 3 teenage boys broke in the middle of the night, about 3 a.m. And I was in the teenage boy's bedroom that faced the outside. And the detective said what appeared to be was that one of the boys was assigned to be the watchdog and alert the others if I woke up. I woke up, and it made him mad. And he said, "Now you're dead." And he pulled out a pipe that was in his pants. It was a piece of plumbing that they smoke dope with that people use under the sink. And he started beating me over the head, put my hand up to protect my head, and my hand was destroyed. And he beat me until the pipe flew out of our hands, and then he strangled me. And I did leave my body. And I was on my way, I knew, going home. And I said, "Father, receive me into your hands. This is it. I believe this is the end of my life." And all of a sudden, I was back in my body, but not where I left it. I was outside, all the way out of the bedroom, all across the patio, all the way down the dog run, and to a fence. So the neighbors heard me screaming, got to the hospital. It just so happened that the top hand surgeon of Orange County just happened to be there at 6:30 in the morning. So they rolled me into surgery. My hand was split open. I could see into the middle of my hand. This finger, ring finger, hung by a tiny piece of skin. Part of my destiny was to write books, and I almost lost my finger. I would not have been writing books. So he said to me later that day, "I did all I could do. I put you back together as best I could. There's 3 pins holding your hand together. You will never use that hand again. The 2 knuckles at the end are destroyed. It's only powder and bone fragments, and you won't be able to use it. But I did the best I could for you." I ended up with a big cast that looked like it was from Star Wars, with a mold and these 2 fingers hung by rubber bands, and I looked like something from outer space. I'm going to show you a picture in a moment. Oh, maybe I'll show you. Holy smokes. Sorry about that. We're going to go back. So I went to him several months after that, after a lot of physical therapy where I could barely move these fingers, a quarter, half an inch. And he said, "You are in such bad shape, I can't even go in and put in plastic knuckles." My hand was so swollen, it was inflamed, it looked like a red blob. It would shape like this when I'd take off the removable cast. And I'm young, and I'm single, and my whole life is ahead. And my goal is to write books, and I had many goals. And I went back home. I was staying with a cousin and his wife. And I remember standing in the kitchen and saying, Father God, you know, I've lost hope. Scripture says hope deferred makes the heart sick, and my heart feels so sick right now. But I said, you know what? I'd always loved God. He'd always been my father. And I said, you know, if you would just talk to me, if you would just tell me where I stand with you on this matter, I would love that. If your plan is for me to be handicapped because I believe in your plan and I believe it is perfect, whatever it is, I just want to know, just talk to me. But if you want to heal me, I would love that. At 5 a.m. the next morning, I heard an audible voice in my bedroom, the sweetest voice I've ever heard. And she said, Cherie, look at your hand. My cast was off and I was doing this. And I was like, I'm moving my hand and it doesn't hurt. I could only remember move it like this and it would hurt so bad I'd almost lose my lunch. And then she said, your hand is going to go back to the state it was in, but you will get better and better and better and better until one day your hand will be completely normal again. And it is. And I tell you this story, we'll get rid of that. That's what I looked like before that crazy event. I tell you this only to give you hope that whatever you face, whatever is going on in your life, whatever seems like a crisis, there is great hope because I'll believe with you for anything. And I've seen miracles. At our retreats, my husband and I do the wellness retreats. We have seen so many miracles right on the spot. It's amazing. But you know what I learned from that situation? I had to let go of a lot of stuff. Unforgiveness, being so angry. How could somebody do that to another human being? So angry. I had to let go. My husband teaches in his class emotional and mental healing, the Sedona method. Would I let it go? Could I let it go? And when? And this is your plate of hope. As we let go, as we forgive, it is amazing what happens. I had the most torturous, fearful, sleepless nights for months and months on end. I could not sleep one wink all night long. And I hardly slept. I felt like a zombie, but I was too terrified. I was too terrified to even close my eyes. But as I forgave little by little, and I always say forgiveness often comes like layers of an onion, a little bit at a time, a little bit, and you let go and you let go of some more. And you finally, one day you take a breath and go, wow, it's gone. It is gone. And so I encourage you to dish up that plate of hope and do your part on your journey. So adversity can lead to personal growth. It certainly can. It did for me. It led to transformation. It led to my destiny. I knew I had a destiny. I knew I had a purpose, and I'm standing in it. This is it. It is to help you find your way to better health and to God's purpose in your life. The highest destiny is the perfect will of God. It is your highest position of your destiny. So it includes spirit, soul, and body. Are you willing today to let go of any and everything that might hold you back? You know, many things, the baggage of our souls, we cling to like a flotation device, right? Like we're out in the lake or the ocean, we're holding on for dear life. But sometimes what we hold on to can hold us back, can keep us from the destiny that God has for us. So we ask ourselves, are we willing to go to the next level? It's waiting for us. Are we willing? Are we available? Are we going to do what it takes? I even say that to myself every day now. I know there are new levels. There are new places I'm to be. What do I need to let go of today to get here? I'm here and I want to be here and I want to go there, because until we die, There's always the next level. God has a plan for tomorrow, and we want to go to the next level. So, are you ready to take your next steps for wellness, joy, prosperity? If you want any information on our upcoming retreat in January, starting the 21st, my husband will be at the side table. I'll be there right after this to sign books, to answer your questions. It's a transformative experience. For those of you that are at the retreat, if you sign up here, you get $150 off. So come and talk to me about that, or talk to him. If you want the best juicer on the face of the earth, the Nama J2, and I got a special code for you for everyone attending the summit. I almost said retreat. Juice 100 is $100 off the Nama J2, and it's the best one I've ever used. That upper chamber is where you put your produce, and some of you are nodding. It is the best. You turn it on and it juices for you. You can go clean up your kitchen, make food, whatever you want to do, but it juices for you. So only at the summit, only for you, Juice 100 is $100 off. So I'm going to close with this. I found this quote. I absolutely loved it. Your healing and growth are an example to many. Thanks to your life experience, others will listen to what you have to say, for in you they will see themselves. In your victory, they will find their hope. Well, I guess that's the end. No, no. My last slide just froze up, but it wasn't too big a deal. I was just going to ask you to stand, and I want to pray for you just to close. So, Father in heaven, we just come in prayer as a group collectively to honor you and to bless your holy name. And I pray for each person here, whatever they face, illness, emotional brokenness, addiction, whatever it may be, I pray for healing, for deliverance, for freedom, and restoration of body, soul, and spirit. Thank you for coming and being part of our group today. We bless your holy name. Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you out at my book table over by the windows.